and welcome to Tuesday's writing lesson. The nasty writing, just doing a circle. The nasty writing for today is all about modal verbs, which we haven't talked about for a long time. But I know in my class, whenever I mention the word modal, they will start singing some song they learned in year 4. You might be singing it now. I've put some modal verbs on the daily learning nasty writing task for you, just in case you've forgotten what they are. And what I want you to do for nasty writing today is have a look at the picture. This detective has just walked into a room with his magnifying glass looking for clues, and all sorts of things have gone on in the room. And what I want you to do is use your powers of deduction, just like the detective would, to write some sentences about what could have, what might have, what may have happened in this room before he arrived. Now, the top tip here for using modals in this way is to be careful with your spelling, because often when we're talking we say, oh, he might have gone home, I don't know, or oh, he could have hurt himself doing that, or well, he should have told me, really. So when we're talking, we often put the modal and have together. We contract it. That's what we do in my class. We contract the two words and put them together. So we say could have, should have, would have. And when people are talking, they often say could have, would have, should have. So then what we get when we write is this. Oops, wrong colour. We get this. Should have. But unfortunately, that's not grammatically correct. Although it's fine to say it, obviously, because we're contracting. When we're writing it, it would look like this. Should have. And if we contract that, it would look like this. Should. And then we're taking away these two letters, so we need to put an apostrophe in their place. And then VE. So it's should have, should have. But when we're talking, we often say should have. We all do it. So just be aware when you're writing that it's should have, or if you want to contract it, should have. Should have. Sorry, that sounded a bit strange. Okay, so I'm going to show you what I mean. I'm going to write a couple of sentences about what might have happened in this room, or what could have happened. Now, I don't know if you can see, but up here on the wall, someone's drawn like a matchstick person and written their name, which seems a bit daft, because he might know that person. Abby. So I'm going to write here, the mystery person. Now, I could put might be called Abby, or I could say might have written their name on the wall. Bit silly. Written their name. Oh my goodness, what am I doing? The mystery person might have written, I'm thinking too fast for my hand, might have written their name on the wall. Or I could just say the mystery person might be called Abby. And although I'm asking you to write sentences with modal verbs, keep thinking about all your Year 6 writing when you're doing this, because I might like to put a fronted verb in at the beginning, so I might change that to lowercase, separate it with my comma. Foolishly, or rather foolishly, I'm going to put, rather foolishly, it's a bit silly, a bit daft, rather foolishly, put my comma there as well, the mystery person might have written their name on the wall. What else could I say? It's harder for me to see the picture on the board, but the laptop's open and it looks like someone was playing an online game on it. So that might give him a good clue. So I could say he or she could have been playing an online game. I don't know. I know you play lots of different games online. This is probably a really old one now. It's probably gone over and I'm out of date, but I'm going to say Roblox. So he or she could have been playing Roblox online. So I've got my modal verb, and I've used my modal verb to talk about the past. Might have written, or could have been. Okay, so have a go at writing some sentences using modal verbs today. I thought they might come in useful in your story writing tomorrow. So let me tell you the beginning of the story you're going to finish. Tonight is Parents' Open Evening at Hogwarts School for Wizardry and Witchcraft. Parents are coming to look at their children's work, and there will be performances by the students. Harry, Ron and Hermione are planning to put on a display of the magic spells they've learned in Year 7 so far. But the only problem is Hermione's lost her wand, and they have a sneaking suspicion that it's been stolen by Draco Malfoy and his cronies, Crabbe and Goyle. I'm not even sure which one's which. I don't think that matters too much. You Harry Potter aficionados probably know. Ron thinks he saw them coming out of Hermione's room earlier that day, so that's why they think it might be them. They're probably jealous of Hermione being so good at magic, and they don't want her to steal all the glory at the parents' evening. So this is quite a lot to remember. It is on the daily learning plan as well for today, and obviously you can pause this video at any point and make notes if you want to. But that's the start of the story. So there's a parents' evening planned at Hogwarts. The three friends were going to do a magic spell display, but unfortunately Hermione's lost her wand, and they suspect that these three might have stolen it. Oh, there's one of my modals from Nasty Writing. So today you're going to plan your story ending. Now it's a bit harder than last week in some ways, because last week you had video clips to give you a basic idea and then you could add detail. This week it's your own ideas. So this is how your story will start. Everybody's story will start. Terrible news, gasped Hermione as she ran up to the two young wizards. My wand is gone. That's how your story starts, okay? But then you have to decide what will happen in your story ending. How will the three friends solve the problem? And how will your story actually end? The other thing you can make notes about is speech. Because remember, it's important to include speech in your stories, but not too much. I think I put that on the daily learning plan for today, because we don't want it just to be a dialogue, like, oh my goodness, said Harry, that's terrible. I know, said Hermione. What shall we do, said Ron. I'm not sure, said Hermione. Let me think. Said Harry. Said Ron. That's too much, isn't it? It's just line after line of speech with no description, no detail about what the friends are doing while they're talking or what's going on around them. And it just gets a bit wearing for the reader to read that. So really make sure that your speech is important and tells the reader something. So I thought if any speech came to your head today when you were planning, you could also write that down here, and then you've got it ready for tomorrow. So this is how my story starts. I'm going to imagine, well, I've already told you this, so you can use this detail if you want to. Ron saw, I'm just going to put their initials, Malfoy, Crabbe and Goyle leave Hermione's room and run off. Okay, so the three friends, basically in my story, they're going to say, well, we need to come up with a plan. We need to come up with a plan to find out whether or not they did take my wand or not. So three friends try to think of a plan. Where could they be when they're doing that? Maybe they're in Harry's room. I'll put HA for Harry. So remember, a plan is for you. It's to help you organise your ideas, to help you have something to write about tomorrow when you come to write your story. So you can use this kind of shorthand, you can use bullet points, you can use initials. As long as you understand it, that's fine. A plan shouldn't be sentences. Save that for your story. So this is a day off writing a lot, this is a day off writing, like drafting. It's a planning day, so you don't need to write lots and lots. You just need to have notes that you can understand. So the three friends try to think of a plan, and they're in Harry's room when they do this. And then they decide, a good plan would be, in my story, to get Draco and Crabbe and Goyle out of their rooms to sort of entice them out with some plan or some such, and for Hermione to sneak into their rooms and see if she can call her wand, because in my story, if you call your wand, like maybe a whistle, like you do for a dog, this is just me making this up, I might change that later, if she goes into the room and whistles, the wand will come to her as if by magic. So that's not necessarily in the book, that's my own idea. So they say they're going to get the Malfoy, Crabbe and Goyle outside. Now, how could they do that? I reckon that Harry and Ron could challenge Draco and his friends to a broomstick race or something. Because we saw in that last clip yesterday that Draco's quite competitive and doesn't want Harry to be the best at everything. So they could get them outside and challenge them to a broomstick race. That's what's going to happen in my story. Challenge to broomstick race. That's my shorthand for broomstick, B-stick. They're going to get them outside and challenge them to a broomstick race. Hermione sneak into rooms and whistle for wand. Now, I'm going to leave it there. That's not my whole story ending. It's going to be a bit longer than that. I could have another problem occurs. So when they're outside having a broomstick race, maybe they get told off by a teacher because they're not supposed to do that, and they get put in detention or something. And then Hermione sneaks into their room and has to hide under the bed because one of them comes back in or something. And then they go out and lock the door and she gets locked in the room. So I could have another problem happen and then they have to solve that. So I need to think about how they would get out of those situations, don't I? So you're going to do the same thing. There's no right or wrong to this today, is there? You just have to think, how are they going to solve this problem? How's my story going to end? Are they going to solve it? Are they going to be successful and have a spectacular parents' evening where they wow everybody with their magic? Or it's up to you. Maybe they never find the wand and they have to solve the problem in a different way. Your ideas. So we're looking forward to seeing how you get on with that. And yeah, I'll see you again tomorrow. Bye.